Success isn't magic, luck, or something reserved for a gifted few. It's a pattern of thinking that quietly shapes every decision you make. Imagine two people starting from the exact same place, with the same education, the same opportunities, and the same resources. Years later, one has built an extraordinary life, while the other wonders what went wrong. The difference usually isn't intelligence. It isn't talent. It isn't even hard work alone. The real difference lies in psychology. Your mind is like a hidden operating system. Every belief, every habit, and every thought silently influences your actions, and your actions ultimately create your future. Most people wait to feel motivated before they begin, but successful people understand something different. They know that action comes first and motivation follows. Think about the last time you didn't feel like doing something important. Maybe it was studying, exercising, learning a new skill, or working on a dream. The longer you waited for motivation, the harder it became to start. But the moment you forced yourself to take even one small step, your energy slowly increased. That's because action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. Another powerful secret is delayed gratification. Our brains naturally chase immediate rewards. Scrolling social media feels easier than reading a book. Watching another episode feels more exciting than building a business. Buying something today feels better than saving for tomorrow. But every successful person trains themselves to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term success. They understand that today's discipline becomes tomorrow's freedom. Every small decision compounds over time. Just like planting a seed, you won't see results overnight. But if you continue watering it every single day, eventually it becomes a tree. Success works exactly the same way. Tiny habits repeated consistently become extraordinary results. Another psychological principle is identity. Most people focus on goals. They say, I want to lose weight, I want to become rich, or I want to speak fluent English. But successful people focus on becoming the kind of person who naturally achieves those goals. Instead of asking, what should I do? They ask, who do I need to become? A person who identifies as a learner reads every day. A person who identifies as an entrepreneur constantly looks for opportunities. A person who identifies as healthy makes better food choices without forcing themselves. Change your identity and your habits begin to change automatically. Fear is another invisible force that controls millions of lives. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, and fear of what other people might think. But here's the truth. Every successful person experiences fear. The difference is they don't let fear make their decisions. Courage doesn't mean you're fearless. Courage means taking action despite being afraid. Every great achievement in history began with someone who was willing to be uncomfortable. Growth always lives outside your comfort zone. If everything feels easy, you're probably not growing. Another powerful concept is the growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe abilities are permanent. They think, I'm just not smart enough, or I'm not naturally talented. But people with a growth mindset believe every skill can be developed through practice, learning, and persistence. When they fail, they don't see failure as proof that they're incapable. They see it as feedback. Every mistake becomes a lesson instead of a reason to quit. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. Falling isn't failure. It's simply part of learning. Success works exactly the same way. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's one of the steps leading toward it. Your environment also shapes your psychology more than you realize. The people you spend time with influence your beliefs, your habits, and your ambitions. If you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, avoid responsibility, and settle for less, you'll slowly begin thinking the same way. But if you're surrounded by people who challenge themselves, learn continuously, and chase meaningful goals, their mindset begins to influence yours. That's why successful people carefully choose their environment. They protect their attention because attention is one of the most valuable resources in the modern world. Every notification, every distraction, and every hour spent consuming meaningless content steals time from building the life you truly want. Focus has become a superpower. The ability to concentrate on one important task while ignoring distractions is now one of the biggest competitive advantages anyone can develop. Another psychological truth is that confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. Many people wait until they feel confident before trying something new. But confidence is built through repeated experience. Every conversation, every presentation, every challenge, and every small victory slowly rewires your brain to believe, I can do this. That's why successful people aren't born confident. They become confident by keeping promises to themselves. They do what they said they would do, even when nobody is watching. Integrity with yourself builds self-respect, and self-respect builds confidence. Finally, remember that success isn't a destination you arrive at one day. It's a way of thinking and living every single day. It's choosing growth instead of comfort, discipline instead of excuses, learning instead of complaining, and persistence instead of giving up. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You only need to make one better decision today than you made yesterday. One page read, one workout completed, one new skill practiced, one distraction avoided, one promise kept. Small actions repeated consistently create extraordinary lives. Your future isn't created by one giant breakthrough. It's created by thousands of tiny choices that nobody notices until one day everyone notices the results. So start today. Protect your mindset, master your habits, believe that you can grow, and remember this: success always begins in the mind long before it appears in the world.